What's going on, guys? It is your boy Coach Reed. I was watching a video the other day of this guy, right? He's got these 3 Rubik's Cubes and he's tossing them up, and not only is he catching them, he's juggling these freaking Rubik's Cubes. He's solving them as it's coming down and they're in the air, and he's solving them as he's juggling them. And it took him exactly 4.5 minutes. 4.5 freaking minutes to solve 3 Rubik's Cubes. Meanwhile, I got my first Rubik's Cube on my deployment to Iraq. I'm like, I'm going to take a little bit of time for myself and I'm going to solve this thing in my free time. And a month went by, it didn't happen. 3 months went by, it didn't happen. I ended up throwing it away and I never ended up solving it, right? But we can all look at his skill set and say, you know what? That is an amazing gift. He's probably great at math. He's probably a very visual person. Like, that is amazing. And then we look at myself and I could run the race and say, man, I'll never be like that, or I'll never be smart enough, or I'll never be a visual person. Or I could just acknowledge that he has a gift and he has honed that gift, and that is who he is. That is what makes him unique. It's no different than my daughter. She's a beautiful girl. She's going to grow up to be a beautiful woman. Everywhere she goes, she gets compliments. How beautiful you are. How beautiful you are. Oh, your eyes, your hair. I love that. That's not me, however. I don't go out into the world and people say these things about me. And I'm okay with that because that's not me. But we have to get to a point where we start to acknowledge what we bring to the table, what we are. Like, I read people like no other. I understand people's energy. I understand people's body language. I know all of these different things about people that people are just like amazed the fact that I remembered or that I knew or that I even picked up on. Like, that's my skill set. Fitness is something that I have honed over the last 20 years, but genetically, like, that's what I'm built to do. I'm built to do certain things, but I've honed these skill sets. So I guess what I'm saying is we have got to get to a point where we understand who we are, what we bring to the table, and we have to acknowledge the fact that we have our own gifts that we've been given, so we can hone those things and stop comparing ourselves to other people. Like, I'm not going to compare myself to a guy who can juggle 3 Rubik's Cubes. I can sit back and I can acknowledge the fact that being a visual person is not my thing, so I'm not going to run that race. Or maybe being drop dead gorgeous is not going to be my thing, so I'm not going to run that race. But the things that I do, and I do well, I'm going to acknowledge those, I'm going to walk in those, and I'm going to continue to do those and hone those so that I can bring what I can bring to the world. So instead of watching what it is I do or saying I want to do what he does, why don't we sit there and say, you know what, I'm going to be the best version of myself with what I have, and I'm going to maximize and capitalize on the gifts that I bring to the table. And if we start doing that, we drop the envy, we drop the jealousy, we drop the feeling inferior, we drop feeling like we have to show up perfect every single day. We drop all of that and we start operating in what it is that we do. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. We have to stop watching what everybody, especially on social media where people are showing you highlight. We have to get to the point where we start acknowledging, like, man, Brian, this is what you do. So why don't you do what you do and honor God by doing that? This is what you do. Why don't you honor God by doing what it is you do? Why don't we honor our gifts and the things that we have? And it's not to say you can't get better at other things or to hone other skill sets. It's that you have a gift, you have a reason you're here. Give that to the world. Magnify that so that you can magnify our Creator, all right? I love you guys. Hopefully that makes sense. It is your boy, Coach Reed. I am out.